Ciao Milanisti, welcome back, and a little change of scenery this week. This is actually where I used to shoot my first videos for Simply Milan. Because of timing purposes, I'm having to do my video this week back home in the flat, I'm okay with it. To be honest, you won't be seeing much of me. The focus will be on the content I'm already doing. And this week, I saw a comment a couple of weeks back. I think it might have been last week actually, when I did my sort of review of the season and sort of what it meant for Milan. Someone asked for a tier list system when it comes to rating the players, and obviously the boys on the podcast did a tremendous job in doing a sort of a rating that I usually do, which is like sort of a 1 to 10 basis, and rate the player via that way. And I like to sort of do something a little bit different and use a tier list system. Allows a bit more imaging of players, less critical. And if I give someone a 0.5 marking or a 7, if I give Salamakers a 6.1 or something like that, it makes things a bit more conclusive and a bit more grouped together, so we can sort of appreciate the players and what they did this season as a collective. We're going to really do that today, get straight into it, and obviously massive news coming out of the club right now with the takeover. Elliot are obviously stepping aside slightly, going down to 30% ownership, and obviously Redbird are coming in with the remaining 70%. So it's exciting times. We will be doing videos on them going forward. Obviously, I wanted to sort of wrap up this season and the tremendous effort that this squad did to win the Scudetto, and we can't sort of forget that and wash over that. We have to give them the credit and give them the ratings, everything we usually do on this channel. So let's do that first before we get into anything else coming towards the latter part of this transfer window, or any takeover, or Maldini or Macias getting renewed, anything like that. Obviously, it's coming. This is our priority right now. So yeah, guys, let's jump straight into this. I've got obviously tier maker to help me out, and I've got 5 categories, as you can see on the screen: elite, great, good, okay, and trash. There won't be too many in the trash column, but there will be some. Let's just dive straight into it. Let's go for, we'll go through the sort of the way it's ordered here, really, with Bakayoko first. It's going to have to go to trash, man. It wasn't what we expected from the player. I expected certainly a lot more from him. Obviously, his appearances were limited due to the competition in his place, but he was brought in for a reason, which was to cover during the African Cup of Nations when Benacer and Kessey was gone. And then even around that period, you think he sort of liked to impress us to make his loan stay permanent, and he just didn't really do enough for the club. I think he's probably going back to Chelsea this summer. So yeah, unfortunately, Baka, you're going to go in the trash column. These are actually the only 2. The first 2 I see here are the 2 that I'm going to put in the trash column. The rest are going to be out of that, and that's obviously Baka and my favourite Ballatore. Once again, didn't see enough from the player. Not to say that it's not his fault completely that he didn't get enough appearances, but I still feel like when you do get your appearances, make them count. Try to do something. And he just looked clumsy. He just looked like he couldn't quite adapt. I know he's younger than someone like Bakayoko is, so he has time on his side. So maybe a loan spell is what's best for the player. But I certainly didn't see enough for me to be convinced he's of Milan quality. So I put Baka and Ballo, unfortunately, in the trash pile. Now we obviously get some more encouraging players. We have Benacer, and I'm going to put him in great. If I was to put him in elite, that would mean that he was being the sort of the team of the season for the Serie A, and unfortunately he wasn't there. He was crucial, big games, big goals. We can't ask more from Benacer this season. Another great one. It's probably his best season in a Milan shirt. So obviously with Kessey gone now, so it's natural on the importance for him to sort of step up and deliver more of his consistent performances. Next up is Brahim Diaz. It's got to be okay. I would love to put him in trash, but he wasn't completely, because he had a good first month and he contributed, 4 goals, 4 assists. What can we say about Diaz? Patience, probably, if we're going to keep him on beyond the summer. It's probably patience, and hopefully we get some competition in his spot to make his position less pressurizing, and the expectation for him to perform on a consistent basis isn't there. We saw his best performances coming off the bench. So if we do get some players that we have been linked to in the attacking midfielder position, or even the right winger position, if we shift to a 4-3-3, it means that there's less pressure on him to deliver, and hopefully he can sort of come into his own eventually as a player, and we'll address to see maybe if his loan stay is going to be permanent the following summer window. Next up is Calabria. I put him as good, and it's quite a weird one because I think good and great, there's a little bit that divides it. For me, great is kind of like 8 out of 10 sort of performances. 8 out of 10 overall throughout the season. Good is kind of lingering between that 6.5 to, well, not really 6.5, I'll probably say 7 out of 10, and okay is kind of within that 6 to 6.5 bracket, and trash is below that. Calabria is a good player. He's always been a good player, solid player. Is he a great player? Probably not. Is he the player that we look to when we sort of looking for that impact right back that we see in someone like Teo Hernandez at the left position? No, he's not. But he's solid overall. He's well balanced, and he needs to probably work on his defensive abilities against some of these left wingers that we saw him suffering this season. So he certainly needs to work on that. It's probably due to fitness as well. So hopefully keeping Florenzy there, we'll come on to him shortly. Hopefully making his stay permanent. Having Kalulu there as well is allowing him to sort of, work on his fitness and work on his craft. So I'm going to go good for Calabria. Samuel Castillejo, I could put him in trash, but to be honest, when he played, he was pretty solid and he was crucial in that Hellas Verona game. So he's going to go in the okay column. He's probably going to come move this summer, so I'm not really going to talk much about him. He's, an okay servant to this club in his tenure here, and I'm just happy that he got a sort of Scudetto at the end of it. Next up is Andrea Florenzy. I'm going to go good for Florenzy. Look, once again, like Calabria, you know what you're getting. Solid performances, 7 out of 10s at best, probably 6.5s at the worst. I don't know, you just get a level of experience from the player. Crucial goals against, it was Hellas Verona, he got the 3rd goal in that game there. I can't remember if it was that game he scored a free kick in, I think it was Empoli, near December. Crucial goal in that game as well. He brings a level of experience, nice level head. There's nothing much we can want more from a sort of backup rotation right back, and someone who can play in a multitude of positions, which you saw over the course of the season. So it's good to have him in the squad, and I hope we keep his loan stay permanent. Next up is Gabbia. Gabbia, I'm gonna go for okay. I wasn't convinced of him. He certainly needs a loan deal this summer, obviously with Kaya coming back from injury, hopefully sign a centre back like Botman or Bremer. We have Kalulu, we have Tomori. Gabbia needs a loan deal. His standout performance for me was against Roma, when obviously it was him and Kalulu, and we were sort of going into it with a lot of nerves in January, with the rest of our centre back rotation out, and he stepped up. He did really well, but obviously his lack of speed has caught him out in other games. So he's just not really good enough, and he needs that experience and a loan deal. So hopefully he gets that this summer. Next up is Olivia Giroud. These are more encouraging players. I'd love to talk more about these as we go on. Giroud's great. Not elite, better than good, because he was clutch, especially against the top 10 levels of oppositions. If you see the stats of the teams he scored against, mostly all the bigger clubs in Serie A, certainly the top 10. 2 goals against Sassuolo last game of the season, the 2 goals against Inter Milan in that crucial fixture there, the winning goal against Napoli. He scored against Lazio, he scored against Roma. So there's not much more you want from a striker who's been brought in to offer that rotation when Ibra's been injured. I spoke about him when we signed him back, around this time last year, probably about a month from now. I saw the value of the player. I didn't see 20 goals a season, but I saw someone who brings a level of experience, can give you 10 to 15 goals a season in the right and clutch moments, and he did that. So we can't ask more from a striker like that. I just hope we've already come into the club, we sort of addressed the long-term star striker position in the years to come. This is going to be the first from the elite category, and it has to be Teo Hernandez. Best left back in Italy, probably my best left back in the world. I think he's just absolutely class. He's been working on his defensive capabilities as well. Made it into the team of the season in Serie A. He's going to be starting for France as well. I was really excited to see him sort of bloom in the World Cup as well and go on to that next level of stage. And just, he's just another exceptional season with goals and assists. And best left back right now, really. You can't really ask more from him. Next is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm going to put him... So this is hard. I want to put him as great for that speech that he did, but I'm going to put him as good. Good goal contribution when you really look at it. I think he finished on 8 goals this season. Look, Zlatan is key when it comes to his personality to the change room. 1000%, and he got some crucial goals. I just feel like obviously him on the pitch, he's got the ACL surgery, he played through 6 months. What a warrior. But obviously you can't just say because of the injury and him carrying through it that he deserves any more than what his performances were showing, which were probably good at best. And that's not to say, it's not to discredit him. I just think obviously the age is kicking in, the injury kicked in, and there's only so much he could really do. So I think it's good, but if you kind of did it from a personality perspective, I would say elite. But performances on the pitch, this is what this is, and that's good. Next up is Pierre Kalulu. Just missed out on elite for me. Great, because obviously those 6 months he had to step in when Kaya got injured, and the Romagnoli went down as well. He really stepped up and he made that centre-back spot his own, right next to Fikayo Tomori in front of Mike Mignon. And we haven't really looked back since. It gives us a massive level of comfort blanket when it comes to the summer and signing another centre-back, because we know we have 3 right now. Kaya, Tomori, Kalulu, ready to go. Kalulu brings that, there's only so much we can really say when it comes to his confidence for someone that's so young. And I think he's finally getting his plaudits now that he's one of the best young centre-backs in world football. Breaking through the French youth team, the under-21 side. And yeah, to be honest, when he first joined the club, I just didn't really expect much. Obviously, Moncada, that's down to his recruitment. Fantastic level of recruitment there. And I just didn't really expect... I think you expected something, but over a longer period of time. But within his second year, for him to be starting at the centre-back position in a Scudetto-winning Milan side, fantastic achievement, and that's why he's a great player. That's why I think he needs to still work on a few things on a sort of tactical ability, positioning wise in certain areas of the pitch. There's only so much he can do, obviously aerially with his lack of height when compared to most centre forwards, but that's something he can certainly work on. But right now I sort of see that 8 out of 10 performance overall when it comes to the season. Next up is Frank Kessey. I would say good if this was 6 months ago, but I'm going to say great. And what a way to sort of bow out his time at Milan. Presidente, solid performances overall. Still got good level of goals when you factor in that we didn't actually get that many penalties this season, and they were sort of like shared out between, I think, like Teo Hernandez took some, Giroud took some. He didn't sort of like stat pad it with penalties. He got goals in open play. Obviously, the last goal in the last game of the season, goal against Sassuolo, to sort of cap things off. What a send-off for the guy. Really solid. I think we will miss him in a sense with his sort of with his frame when it comes to the midfield position and what it imposes. But I do feel like this is the time now. If we do want to sort of change things up and bring in someone like Renato Sanchez, who is technically more superior to someone like Kessey, I do feel like we can change that up and be much more of a fluid attacking side. But we can't discredit what he has brought us over these years, and which is just just solid. And last season I would put him in that sort of elite category. This season it's great because obviously there is a slight step down in performances, and I only wish him all the best when it comes to his future, which may or may not be Barcelona depending on their financial situation right now. Okay, so Simone Kaya, where am I going to put this guy? Kaya, I'm going to put him in good. I'll put him in good. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair to put him in good, to be honest. Look, the injury was massive to the sort of the overall part of the season. Before that, I would say solid performances. Were they as stand out as Tomori's or Kalulu's? I would probably not. That's probably why I can't give him the same rating I give Kalulu. It's just a shame that he got injured so early on into the season. What was it, like November time against Genoa? That it didn't really allow him to get into that rhythm as the season sort of entails. And I just hope for him that this injury isn't going to impact his career so much, because I've seen a lot of people at his age, defenders or any position really, they get this sort of injury, and it has massive ramifications on their sort of their fitness and their overall speed and confidence on the pitch. So I just hope he can bounce back from it, but hopefully with bringing another body in the centre-back position this summer, we can sort of allow him that freedom to come back in his own time and add his qualities there. But I'll give him good this season. And I think same I can give for Krunic. Same for Krunic. And that kind of sums up his time at Milan. Good. A guy who plays in multitude of positions, can't ask for more. He plays, gives 100% when he's asked to, in whatever position it is, whether it's left wing, centre mid, attacking mid, bloody goalkeeper if you want him to be, and he started the last few games of the season, and rightfully so. He was crucial with the way we play, the way we press, and I'm happy for him to stay in the squad next season. I think a lot of people would have said, last season that he shouldn't we look to sell him in the summer. No, I think he's valuable because you need players that can play a range of positions, and he's someone that's like that. So I'm very happy to keep someone like Krunic. Next up, another one, of course, in the elite category, Serie A Player of the Year, Raphael Liao. He got over 10 goals, got over 10 assists. I can't remember the exact figures. I think it was like 10 and 11. But goal contributions are there. That massive leap in quality. We could speak about him so many times right here on this channel, but what we need to do is we need to lock him down to that longer term contract, increase the buyout clause, whatever it may be. I'm hoping with the new ownership that they'll be able to, let's go right now, let's do it as the first priority after renewing Maldini, Massara, Moncada. So yeah, Liao, incredible. The less I say about him, I don't really have to say much about him, to be honest. And obviously another elite one, Mignon. And I give him more elite because of the fact that he came in for a player who was obviously so crucial, was supposed to be our sort of our centerpiece player for this new Milan project, which is Donnarumma. Got MVP in the Euros the following summer, made us look really bad for the fact that we moved on past him. Mignon came in with the pressure to step up, and he did. More clean sheets than Gigio. I'm not going to do this as a sort of comparison standard, but it's the truth. Best clean sheets in amount of clean sheets, not even per game, but just in general, in the Serie A. I think it was 17 and 32. Incredible. Like the confidence, the personality of someone like that. It just gives him. I think when he signed, I kind of had this feeling that, I feel alright about this. I feel alright about this move. I did a preview thing about him. I liked his sort of stats. I liked his sort of his confidence. There was the interview that I think he did when he said about Ibra and how they were at PSG, and then he had the balls to step up to an Ibra like that. You can tell that there was something there from a confidence perspective, and then it was just basically translating that to the performances on the pitch, and he delivered that and then some. Just an excellent keeper, and it's excellent business by the club once again, knowing that we have this keeper locked down for the future amount of years, and he's probably one of the best keepers in the world right now. We're going to work our way a little bit down the category, in which is Daniel Maldini. Look, you can't really. I could say the same thing for like opportunities given for Bakayoko and Ballatore. Maldini did alright, and he got that crucial goal against Spezia, so he's going in the okay column. Just maybe he needs a loan deal out somewhere, maybe another Serie A club, maybe a Serie B club. Work on his craft, get some experience, and he can level up. But I also understand Maldini wants to keep him around because of the sort of Italian quota, and being around winners. That's important for someone in his career, and he can eventually, step up as a player. So hopefully Maldini sort of or Daniel in this case, can sort of get what the best is for his future. Sorry about that, I've been talking so much, I need a little water break. Next up is Junior Macias. So Macias, I'm going to put him as good. Would put okay based on performances, but I think his stats were quite impressive. We'll come on to another right winger who's same level of performances, but his stats weren't good, and I think that's what separates the two of them. Macias, I don't know if it's the right decision to keep him this summer, but I do feel like he was the person we needed at the time. Last minute deal, late in the window, we couldn't get Roman Fibra, so Macias looked like to be the one. And he came in, got some decent amount of goals. I think it was 6 he ended on the season, with a couple of assists. We weren't expecting the world, and we didn't get the world, but we got something that was pretty okay. The period of time when Salamakers wasn't giving us anything. We didn't have any option at all on the right side. So, and if he bows out with us not signing him out right this season, then I'll sort of tip my hat off to him and say thank you. And you've got a winner's medal to go with yourself, and maybe get a move to another club in Serie A. And I think he deserves it if he's not with us next season. Stefano Pioli. It's got to be elite, innit? Stefano, that's me, that's him. Elite performances, best form against the top 6 or top 7 in Italian football, points per game if you look at that way. Really worked on his points tally this season compared to last season. I think he ended on 79 points, now he finishes on 86 points. Worked on, he saw there was defensive problems in the first half of the season, worked on that, made sure the defence was much more better, much more close-knitted in the second half of the season, and we ended up with the best defence, the joint best defence in the league, equal with Napoli. Pioli has to get his credits. Called a serial bottle job or just not a winner as a coach. he is now. He's now won something. So now that people can shut the hell up and sort of respected what he's done and his trajectory as a coach. So really happy with him, and he had an elite season. Ante Rebic, that is a disappointing okay season for me. Rebic, I don't know what the future is for Rebic. I really would be gutted if he leaves just because I love the player and because I look more towards the past of him at this club and him coming up in clutch moments. I don't know what awaits him. But if he does want to leave because he wants to get more consistent performances, because he now knows that Liao is the sort of the go-to star, I understand that. And if he does want to go back to Germany with his ex-coach or whoever he was playing with, then I understand that. But it's just I don't know. Maybe I've got sort of a sentimental piece for Rebic. I don't really want to see him go, but I do understand it. And look, and if we can make some capital gain on the player and buy someone else, then fair enough. Maybe it's the right move. Alessio Romagnoli. Okay, could put him as good, but I think that faceplant meme against Sassuolo sort of stops me from doing that. And like Kessey, he's going to walk on a free, probably to Lazio this summer. Fair, this is our captain. I can't really speak ill about the player. He lifted the Scudetto. It's one of those sort of things that sort of when you look about it and you think about it, it's sort of the full circle effect. And I'm really happy for him that he got that moment. He got something, the chance to lift something that was a legitimate trophy, not just a Super Cup. Really happy he got that moment, but we've obviously moved on as a club with more better players. Tomori, Kalulu, Kaya now, and hopefully a new signing in a centre-back position as well can let us sort of can move on as a club. But I'm really happy for him in his tenure, and I'm really happy that he got that trophy at the end of it. But an okay season for me. Salamakers. It's got to be okay. Can't be any better. Can't be any worse. Just needs to work on his stats if we do keep him this summer. There's rumours that he might be put in a trade deal for someone like Zaniolo. That there's clubs from Spain that are after him. I was fully on board with him last season because I saw what he did add to this side when it comes to balance. I do feel like he still does, and you see him starting games like the last game against Sassuolo. So Pioli still sees his importance when it comes to the overall balance of the side. But he just needs to work on that end product, and it's like getting some stats on the board when it comes to goals and assists. He could have got an assist in the last game with the Giroud header, but it's more from a goal perspective, man. The shot selection, he gets near and around the box, but he just doesn't take that shot, or he just picks the wrong pass. Everything up until that final quarter is great, and then mine F. It's just I don't know. It's just. He signed a renewal. You got him on the long term now, so we have a bit of weight when it comes to working out what future we're going to do for him, whether it's sell or whether it's keep. I don't really mind either way. I do feel like I've got to need to reserve judgment of what we're going to do this summer based on the money we have available to us, and that's something we're going to understand in the next coming weeks. But I'm going to give okay to Salamakers this season. Tatarusanu, once again, okay. Category is going to get piled up now, probably. Tatarusanu gets okay. Crucial penalty save against Inter Milan. You know what? I'm going to give him good. I'm going to give Tata good because he got that penalty save. He came in for Mignon, who's obviously best keeper in the league, and that's something that's massive to do. And he held it down. I think he only lost one game during that period. I think that was against Fiorentina. Obviously, they had Vlahovic at the time. As a backup keeper, I'm just happy we ain't got someone like Ionut Radu for Inter Milan who gives away, just blunders of performances. So I'm really happy with Tata. I'm just happy in general that he just didn't sort of drop the ball like other keepers have done in a rotation position. And if he gets another, I think he's got a year left. If not, then give him another year or whatever it may be. I'm just happy for him and happy for most of these players, as you can see right now. And this looks like, I think it's Tomori, It's Fikayo Tomori. This is going to be easy, last two anyway. The two I got on the back of my shirt this season. Fikayo Tomori, elite. Just quality. Made it into team of the season, and rightfully so. I just love his aggression. I love the way he plays the game, the physicality, the speed, the way his partnership was there with Kalulu. If there's only one thing I think he needs to work on, it's probably just kind of like his passing range a little bit to get a bit of that sort of Kaya diagonal passes into his game. But yeah, as a centre-back, as a modern-day centre-back, someone who can play in a high press, you really can't ask for more when it comes to someone like that. And, you know, we can look back to the decision that we made the season before in January, when we were going for Siamakan, I can't remember his name, the one that was playing in Germany or something like that, or France, but he went to Germany. we were linked with him, we were going to get him, he was a main target, and then he ended up going to another club or something like that, and then we ended up with Tomori instead, who was obviously the backup option at the time. And he was late into the window, got the deal done. I don't think many of us thought much of it. We probably thought, you know, he's people who live in England, live in London, pretty solid. You can see what he can give to us. But to come in and have this evolution as a player, now he's finally getting that England call up, is simply brilliant. And I think that's credit to the work he's put in. That's credit to his understanding and wanting to get to know the culture of the club, picking up Italian. And I see someone like him who's just really enjoying his career right now and enjoying his football. So massive love for Fikayo Tomori. And obviously the last one, said the best to last, Sandro Tonali, elite, and he's going to round up my 6 in the elite category. Sandro, what a step up season for him. When you think about it, I can't remember what I gave him last season, probably like a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5. Said that he needs to work on it, needs patience, and then all of a sudden, boom, pre-season, he's coming out of the traps. You see a completely different player. We didn't expect the player we saw last season to what he is right now. Incredible. Heart, crucial goals. The Lazio one stands out to me. Got 2 against Hellas Verona as well. What a player. What a player we have right now in front of us, and gives us that level of confidence with Kessey walking on a free, that we're set in midfield, and we can obviously, you know, add to it where we can. But we've got our starters there ready to go, and that's credit to a lot of these players on the list, that they've been brave in the sort of and stepped up to the challenge. And this culture that we have right now at the club is incredible. So to have Sandro have the season that he had, I think right now there's a lot of heart when it comes to the Milan fans, and he's massive in our heart when it comes to just how he's performing, what he represents for this club. He's a boy of Milanista. It's just it's incredible to see. So that's it, guys. I don't think I've missed out anyone. I think this list has got everyone in it. So we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the sort of tier maker list system that I've done this time round. And if you disagree with any of these sort of tiers or the players I've put in any of the categories, put them in the comment section below. We're going to wrap things up here today. Forza Milan.